Hello, everyone. Left my hair up today. Thank you. Whew. What a day in the life of all of us. I put a stay in a conditioner in my hair last night. It's a stay-in conditioner, and it kind of it, I don't know. Yeah, I like the stay-in conditioner because it really moisturizes my hair and gets things. So because of the weather, my hair has been feeling dried out, and so then it gets crazier. Sort of like, well, not so great. It just sort of like goes limp. And so I put in this stay-in conditioner. But then I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now. Kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it looks greasy, whatever. And I had it up for a while, my hair up for a while, and then I was getting a headache, and so I had to put it down. So now my hair is just it's ready for a haircut. That's what this hair is ready for, a redo of a redo. Good morning, Dana. You love my hair. Thank you. It has, I always say my hair has its own mind. It does its own thing. Some days it just looks like holy shit. Man, it looks like I just got from the hairdressers. Other days it looks like, man, you are the wild witch of the forest. I'm being the wild witch of the forest. So another crazy day in paradise. That's what we have. We have another crazy day in paradise. I've been doing as I said, this year's my personal journey of healing, and some of that healing is coming through different spiritual works and studies, and some of the studies that I've been doing. And so one of the revelations that I received is about fear, and we all have this fear, but why, every religion has a creation story, right? We all know, um he paid good money to try and get these girls. Yeah, just to sidetrack, my eldest son, Dominic, he has he could get the perfect curls. That the perm that everybody wants, that's his hair. His hair was just the perfect, you can get the perfect ringlets and that, and then he could, then he'd comb it out and then it'd be a crazy. Um, but his hair is so thick, like thick hair. My number 2 son is, he has the Brillo hair, where if he let it go, he could get, he gets the curls, but his hair will go start going into dreads. And then Olivia's hair is she's got thin hair, and it goes, but her hair gets a really nice wave on it, but she doesn't like it. She straightens it all the time. Owen has a slight wave, but his hair is curly right now. So I think, yeah, he perms his hair because he wants and it looks good because when he was a baby, he had the cutest curls, you know, and and then mine goes from either, it can go flat, but it's like, just heavy, just flat, dry kind of thing, to having, like I haven't, okay, I don't brush my hair. I finger brush my hair. And I don't know, some hairdressers think that's bad. Um, I usually tie my hair up quite a bit. So then it'll come down and it's this. It's this. So I actually don't spend a lot of time on my hair, you know. It just is what it is. So my eldest sister, Judy, has she'd have tight curls. So when she goes away to Costa Rica and stuff, because they have property down there, when they go to Costa Rica, she has to always have her hair up, and her hair is very thick too. Um, but her hair, it just bing, bing, bing. It goes crazy. And my daughter experienced that when she went to Mexico. She wasn't expecting her hair, the humidity to affect her hair so much, but it did. So interesting hair talk today as as we go forward with this craziness, right? Of energies. So the farmers, we'll get back to what a couple things. I just want to mention the farmers in Britain are rising up. They are starting to protest. And what I a couple thoughts that I had is that, when we had our protest, I mean, Canada, so like people don't realize, from Europe how big Canada is. Like, for them, they could go from Germany into Austria and over here and over here. And then, Finland's not far. Like they could drive and basically be in another country in a couple hours. Here, you could drive and drive and drive and not hit another province right away, right? Or, because it's so vast and it's so big, right? So with the protest in Ottawa, when we had it, people are spread apart so much. Like we're so isolated in many ways from one end of the country to the other end of the country. In Europe, they're there. Everybody's and you're sort of clumped all together. So when these protests happen, right? 5 UKs and yeah, fit in Ontario. Exactly, right? And then if you go to the UK, the vastness um of weather and of fertility of the land, right? It's so vast and so many different valleys and things. I mean, it's it's magical. Like it's because there's so many different subterraneans within that country, right? And throughout Europe. And the thing is that Europe is like clumped together. So you got this and everything's right there. So when things start to happen, it's very easy for it to be affected over here and over here and over here and over here. In Canada, it takes a while. What's going on in Toronto goes on in Toronto kind of thing, because it's like way the fuck over there. It's not necessarily on our back doorstep. It's not, it's yeah, it's a part of Canada, but we don't Ottawa was quite a ways away for us. So in the protest in doing something like that, it gets where to come together. Yeah, we were together. We come together as a unit, as a country. But I just feel like there's a difference when you go over to Europe because it's just right there in your face. So if Italy's doing protesting and then they're protesting, and even if it is in Denmark, and they're protesting in France, and then Germany gets into it, and then the Netherlands are getting into it, and then other, countries are starting to really rise up. They're starting to really, um, like that bond is starting to come together, and that sort of part of what I was wanting to talk about today is that coming togetherness, that bond of coming together. We are so and when we come together and we work together, the fear goes. When we are isolated or we get where we are, and that's where I'm going back to the creation story, is that there's always something that happens that within the creation, within whatever story, whether it's Adam and Eve or any other story, there is this disconnect that happens with the god or the goddess, the divine, the void. We get that disconnection, and that disconnection brings us fear. That disconnection brings us where we just want to create something. We want to connect with other things, which cause the fear. And this is where it's wanting us to come back and connect. Now the moon has gone into Pisces, so that's very ethereal, and it's meeting up with the time lord, Saturn. And but the thing is, Saturn doesn't like Pisces because he can't ground himself, and Mercury doesn't like Pisces either. Um, because it's hard for him to get his full message out because it's in water and it's ethereal. It's so vast. There's a vastness there, and it can be all over the place, right? And Neptune is kind of in there pulling the strings of it all. So trying to receive the information and receive it. And I feel like that's how we feel. We feel like, as uh, a hum, as a community of the world, we feel like we are so disconnected, right? Not only from above, from the universe, the divine, God, goddess, however you want it, but we feel that vastness and disconnection from one another. And there is a fear that has been instilled to come together, to have that togetherness, because then we're afraid that someone's going to take our freedom away. How funny is that? Someone's going to take our freedom away. They're going to take this and take that away. But it's just the opposite, in what has happened. It's the opposite. The opposite is that we are, are by being disconnected, we are less free because we're not coming together. We're not working together. And this is, with that conjunction that's coming in with Mars, it's a very power construct. What are we going to build? What is good for humanity? What is that forward motion that we are needing to take in order to go forward? And then as the moon is in, Pisces, there's a very ethereal type of energy that's there. So we want to be able to open ourselves up, to open, the heart chakra up and open ourselves up so that we are able to be the sponge, to be able to be that absorption of the universe, to allow for that absorption, allow for that energy to come forward. And as we are allowing for that energy and that absorption to come forward, we are able to bring forth a powerful construct, because we're able to come back to that connection to the divine, come back to that, because we are needed. We need to walk with our source. It's always there, but we are delusional, disassociated in our lives, and that's what brings in the fear. That's what brings in the anxiety. That brings in the distortion. I am not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I should be this. I should be that. And also brings in where that one, especially for women, and I've been doing a little bit of studying and looking into the womb, and that healing of the womb, and what that healing of the womb really means, because that is our birth. We are birthing from that. Whether you've had children or not had children, it's still, that is a birthing place, right? It is the uterus. I mean, as much as a man wants to be a woman, he'll never be a woman, because he does not understand that energy of that birthing, of that creating. And that's what women are. We are the creators. We want to create, we want to connect, but we have to connect in order to create. We can't create on our own. And that's the same within the masculine. The masculine cannot create on his own. He might try, go off and try as much as he wants, but he ain't going to create nothing. But you got to come together, and within that connection, you have that creation. And that's where we're at. We're at a place where we are needing to come together to connect. But there is such a healing that needs to be taken place. A healing that needs to be taken place, not only within the womb, within the sacral area, and then we can get into the sacral area of the man, of the masculine, because the masculine energy is to be the provider, to bring forth the provisions, right? And I'm talking about energy, so people don't fucking freak out. And that energy of the feminine, of coming in to nurture, to create. So in order to nurture and create, you need your provisions, you need the energy of something to provide for, something to work with together, if this makes any sense. That's where the energy is. The energy is wanting us to come into the connect, and looking at, where are we fearful, where are we hiding, right? Where is that hiddenness, right? So we're hiding in some way, and that hiding away, as we hide away, it's like, I always go back to and I don't know where it is in the Bible, but anyways, David's hiding in a cave because he did a bad thing, but God knows he did a bad thing, and he shines a light in there. He says, you got to come to the light. In order to heal, you got to come to the light. In order for you, and what does that mean? That means in order for us to be able to heal, we have to we have to come to the light. We have to come into the light. In hiding in the darkness and trying to be into the dark and figure things out, we get disconnected. And within that disconnection, we scramble to, oh, this, we're going to create this, and we're going to create this, and we're going to do this, and I'm going to do it all by myself, because and we feel like that's going to sustain us or make us feel good. But in fact, it makes us feel empty and feels a void, and we don't feel you know, connection. It's like when people say, well, I'm in downtown Hong Kong and I'm lonely as hell. There's millions of people around you, but you're still lonely because you're disconnected. You're lonely because there's a disconnection, not only within yourself, but within your source and within your divine. And that is a huge part of where we are going on this journey. In order for us to have a fabulous year, in the reconstruction of everything, and that's what I feel everything is a reconstruction, that the world is reconstructing in some way. In this reconstruction of the world, we have to come together in some way. We have to come together within our own selves. So there's a healing that we have to do within our own selves, in allowing ourselves, as cliche as it is, that we are worthy, that God, the divine source, a higher being, a higher self, has a plan. And we have to trust in that plan. We have to trust in it and know that there is a greatness that is beautiful for us. Because even when things are tragic and horrible, there can be great joy. And that great joy is the connection that we have. That great joy is saying, yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And after you go through something, after you go through, whatever it is that you went through, whatever trauma, or you can look back on it. Sometimes it's very difficult to look back on it, but many times you're like, holy shit, I grew from that. And in growing from that, I'm stronger. I'm able to help more people. I am more open and willing to be a part of the world around me and not be afraid, because I have that connection. I know that I'm good. I'm good, and trusting in that. And that's a big one, having that faith. Faith is a big one. I talk about it with my kids, and my kids get angry because they're like, oh, faith, blah, blah, blah. It's all this. And it's just like, no, it's not that it's not that you're giving up on stuff. It's not that you're not going to have, I don't know, the Gucci watch if you want. Fine, if the Gucci watch, fine, have the Gucci watch. Nobody's saying that's wrong. Nobody's saying have the Gucci watch or have the beautiful home, or if having the juicy couture handbag. I mean, because they're so fucking cute, just have to say. And the new Chanel bags are beautiful. I was looking at them online. They're beautiful. I love Chanel. I do. It's God doesn't say you can't have those things, but it's not making them your priority. That's the change, right? It's having that connection. Knowing that, yeah, I'm going to be open because I'm going to be open to the greatness and the beauty that's there, and allow myself to have that beauty. So, because people can go from one extreme to another extreme with this all, and it's finding that balance in the middle, and and making that difference, which is above all most important, and having that connection with the divine. So, and here's another thing, with what I do. I am doing I don't, for those who are Catholic or whatever, you'll know what this is. I'm doing a novena to St. Jude, and St. Jude is the patron saint of hopeless cases, and I love St. Jude because sometimes I feel like I'm a hopeless case. He was my father's patron saint as well. And my parents got married in the shrine of St. Jude in Detroit. Uh, and there was a shrine that a church had a shrine for the patron saint of St. Jude. And so my dad knew that's exactly where they had to get married because St. Jude was his patron saint. Um, the thing is that doing that, and however you want to look at it, has, because I have a child who's going through it's a crisis. He's got a long ways to go, just saying. He's got a fucking long ways to go. But, he's getting there. But I asked for, help and aid for him or something to come through that he needs. And he was having a hell of a time as ROE. He handed it in a while ago and it still wasn't uploaded onto the site. And, going up and then trying to call and trying to work with all these people. And everybody knows what it's like to call the government, Service Canada or what. It's bloody hell because either they don't know and it's somebody else's office, it's over in the cubicle on the other side of the country or something, handles that, not my cubicle. Finally connect it. And because I was praying for it and having some sort of connection or having, because I can't do anything. That's, it's on him. He's an adult now. And bang, it's like, yeah, we got it here. I'm loading it up for you now, Mr. Tracy. That's my son. They call him Mr. Tracy. Goes, "Oh, okay. And we have everything on here and we owe you X amount of weeks and you should get it by Monday or Tuesday." I was like, thank God. Like, wow. So those little things, you might not think, you might just think, oh, well, that's whatever. I don't think of them as whatever. I think of them as fabulous things. It's just like uh, another little thing that happened that I call a miracle is that Steve and I ran out of coffee this week, and I don't get paid till next week. So we're pretty well strapped. We didn't have, I had got gas in the car, able to take me to and from work and to pick up Mateus and do whatever else that we needed to do. But, buying the coffee was not a high priority. And so my my other son texted me last night. He goes, "Mom, I'm sending you some money." And I'm like, "What?" Thank you. Which was beautiful because I really wasn't expecting it, right? I wasn't expecting anything. And then I had another client who bought a moon reading and sent a little bit of extra with the moon reading. God bless her. Um, and that's going to put, because we're running, put gas and I'll have gas for next week. And of course, I went and I bought coffee. Um, Stopped off at Co-op last night after work and even had enough to buy a bottle of wine. That was nice. But being able to do that, I have to say thank you because it's in the vibration that you're putting in. You're just saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this vibration out there. I'm going to put this energy out there and I'm going to trust and I'm going to have faith, however you want. No, you don't have to pray to St. Jude. You don't, because a lot of people freak out. Oh, that's whatever. Oh, like fuck off. Uh, but there's a power in that. And it's something between you and your divine and source of allowing it. But I want people to know that these things work. They might not be that we won the lottery. If we won a lottery, I'll let you know because I'll be jumping up and down and be freaking out like, what? And saying, okay, we got our passports. I'll see you guys in about a month. I'm going on vacay. I'm going somewhere warm and need to, which would be nice for everybody to do, right? Just check out for a little bit and just sort of figure shit out without having to worry about anything. That's a blessing. That's just like and that's the whole thing. That's part of it. It's these little Little things, that's where the miracles you know, are in the little movements, in the little things. And when you let go of the grievances and you choose the miracles, let go of grievances and choose miracles, you start to see there's miracles all around you. And that's where, with even today, with that, Mars and Pluto coming together, and those are both my rulers of Scorpio. So they're both meeting together in Aquarius, which, you look at it, for those who are Leo and stuff like that. Yeah, girl. For those who are Leos, the sun is opposite right now of you, right? The sun's in detriment, meaning it doesn't like being in Aquarius. It's like, oh my God, let me get out of this crazy space ball. I want to come back and be the center, of everything. Not in this crazy space ball, because, as you know, Aquarius is also very vast. It's ruled by Uranus, and it has this vastness to it. Um and an energy of knowingness, right? And they're very logical, and the sun wants to come down and be very heartfelt, right? So the sun wants to say, to be the loud and be boisterous, and here I am, and let's just go, and who cares if people are watching? We're going to dance in the middle of the street because we want to, kind of thing. That's very Leo. And of course, it's like, well, I don't know what you're doing. I ain't doing that. It's not logical, and I won't call attention to myself unless I really want to. And if I want to have purple hair, that's just because I want to, not because I want anybody to look at me, kind of thing. So so I don't know how I just got on a tangent, but with, that Pluto and Mars energy together, it is looking at your boundaries. It's looking at the deepness of, what does Scorpio rule? When you look at these planets, you look at, okay, what do they, who do they rule? So, Mars rules Aries and is the old ruler of Scorpio. Pluto rules Scorpio. So we look at, okay, what's Scorpio all about? Sex, taboo, um, truth, boundaries. How far can we push those boundaries? So here we are in a sign about humanitarian, and about community, about individualism, and allowing for that individualism within the community, and allowing for that to not your individualism not to overtake others, and what others do. And here they come together, and they're going to push the limits. So we have this energy of pushing the limits. So what's happening? We're pushing the limits of things, of whatever, pushing the taboo limits. And taboo doesn't have to be sex and drugs and rock and roll. Taboo could be, you're pushing the limits of the government. Well, that's taboo. You're pushing the limits of saying to somebody, well, that's wrong. You can't do, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you mutilating your body? Or doing that to children? That's pushing the limits, right? So we're pushing the limits of things that are taboo. And here these two are coming together, and they're having us really look at the very deepness of it, the healing, allowing for that healing as the moon goes into Pisces, the ethereal, the expansion, the connection to the divine, the connection to God, and allowing us to be that sponge to allow for that healing to happen, so that we can come to that peace within us all. Woo! Powerful house today. Powerful house. Yeah. Oh, so many people. There's like a list of people that would come with us as we go on vacation. Man, win the 55 million. Definitely. Just sort of like, go buy my island. Yes.
Can I scratch rocks?
No, because I don't want the hair everywhere.
No, just on there.
I know, not right now. We have trusting your intuition. So in comes the beautiful high priestess. She goes with the moon. She trusts her energy. By the way, I'm having a class on the moon phases. I can't even speak today. Moon phases. And the moon phases have to do with change and how we change with each of the phases of the moon. So in comes this energy, and she's in between the pillars. And the pomegranate seeds are the seeds of wisdom behind her. She has the cross on her. She holds the Torah, the book of knowledge. There's knowledge there. She's draped in such beautiful robes and royalty. And here I am, and looking at that royalty. She has the water behind, allowing for things and intuition to flow. So allowing for that intuition to flow through you, allowing for that knowledge to come in. So that is part of being that sponge. And in doing that, you're going to create something really miraculous. There's something beautiful that comes forth. The Four of Wands is a celebration, a connection, wanting to have that celebration and connection with others. This is also about home. Having that beautiful home and expansion within the home is part of it as well. And in doing so, not to be fearful, because, in comes the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles is kind of like the Tower card. And we're fearful that, oh my God, if I trust this and if I do this, I might, I'm going to lose it all. If I trust God, I'm going to lose it all, because that's, I can't see it. It's not tangible. Right. So the Five of Pentacles, it's the fear of the fear of the mundane, fear of losing what I have on the mundane, instead of saying, you know what, it's okay. I'm going to be fine because the goddess is here. The priestess is here. I'm not going to lose it. It's here for us because there is light. There is a beautiful church there, or window there. And yeah, look at me. I look like shit. I'm on crutches. I'm cold. I need help. But there's a green door. There's a door. There's light in the window. Did you go and knock on the door? Did they knock on the door? I don't know. They're moving past the door. Where are they going? So that's the whole thing. Where am I going? Where am I going? The door is there. But did I knock on it, or did I just walk by it because I just decided, oh, woe is me, and I'd rather wallow on my bullshit and my fear and everything else, instead of coming in to my beautiful intuition and know that there's something really great there, but I got to go with the passion and the understanding and the wisdom that I have within. Woo! There you go. So moon phase class is coming up, and it starts next Sunday on the 18th, and it'll be for 3 consecutive Sundays if you wish to join me. And it's $150. There's payment plans. And I also have an energy class where you get level 1 and level 2 Usuri Reiki, and that's $222. It's a 2-day weekend in March 22nd, 23rd. And we will be talking about energy and working with the energies and how to connect with those energies within us, because they are within us, and activating and doing an activation, and which is the Usuri 1 and 2. We do an activation and attunement with that. So let me know if you're interested in those. Yeah, have a blessed one, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. So get outside. It should be warming up. Sun's up, sun's going down later on today. So it is a beautiful day. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye. Have a great one, everyone.